Outside the Box Reviews, we are taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z line Final Form Frieza figure. And I'm just going to say it right here and now. Usually I try to hold back on whether I'm going to recommend or not recommend the figure till the end, but this guy is the coolest of the three I've picked up. He comes with so much stuff. Granted, he's a little more expensive than the other two figures, so you are paying for that more stuff, but we've got a lot to go into on this figure, so let's jump straight in. First off, unlike the other two figures I reviewed, Frieza comes with beam effects or blast effects. Here we have the death ball, so this little translucent pink ball. You can see the energy kind of rippling around the outside of it. We have a clear peg and a hook. The hook goes around his wrist and makes it look like the ball is hovering above his hand, or however you want to pose it. This can also detach if you wanted it to, but a very cool effect. Very well done. Really nice. We also get this beam effect here. Here at the back we have kind of a spiky pink ball and a kind of jet fire effect into the kind of blast of it. Very nice looking as well. And then of course we get our old friend the Tamashii Stand, just the plastic base, the 3-point arm, and that can peg right into this beam effect. And you can have it look like Frieza's firing the beam. Something I've wanted with the other two figures is beam effect, and nice to have it here. This stand also comes with another trick. We get a claw that can go on the top and actually can hold the figure. So you can actually use this, clamp around the waist of any of your figures and kind of make them hover in the air, fly, whatever you want to do with it. This one holds very sturdy. I actually had really hoped I would have gotten around to doing the King Kong Monster Arts review before this, because the King Kong figure has a very flawed stand. It's a very loose stand, doesn't hold on to anything very well. This is very tight, works very well. Very impressed with how this one worked out. Frieza also comes with a base. Here we have just kind of a rock outcropping. Descending from like the planet Namek, we could see little footprints here where his feet will go, and then pegs in the base. And that leads us into the fact that this figure not just has interchangeable hands like the other ones, but interchangeable feet. Here we have the two standard feet, just kind of flat-footed. We have the toe detail, the joint detail on there, just white feet. See detail on the bottom as well. And these are just peg into the ends of his legs and let you have these if you want to stand up on his own. That's what you use. We also get what looks to be the same feet again, but these ones actually have pegs in the bottom, and those are for use with the rock. So you could actually take them and peg the individual feet into the base. You'd actually have them on the figure, obviously, but peg these right in there and have Frieza standing on his rock, which is really awesome. The feet go and kind of also sit into those indentations, the footprints. They have a really cool display. And we also get two kind of grasping feet, so if you want them standing on somebody's neck or something, or I think at one point he stood on like Krillin's head, something like that, you can actually recreate that with these grabbing feet, which is really cool as well. And just like the other figures in this line, as you'd expect, Frieza comes with a bunch of different hands. So like with any, we have the small little fists here with the painted nails, very tiny hands for Frieza, so very hard to show off. We have the open blasting hands. We actually have like a pair of relaxed hands, which is kind of something new with this line that I haven't gotten before. And then we get two that are both right hands, but one is a slightly more extended finger than the other for different beam effect looks. I think this one's actually for the death ball and this one's more for the beam, but very cool that we got those with Frieza. And then just like the Piccolo figure, we have the folded arms. So we take the figure and unpeg his arms from his shoulders, and then we could peg these folded arms right in. And I think these arms look amazing. I think they actually look better than Piccolo's. Very well detailed. It's got the purple where they need to be, just clean white arms. Very good looking on this figure. Taking a look at Frieza himself, we have a pretty nice head sculpt. I love the metallic on the purple kind of spot on his head. He has the round sticking out ears. Very simple face, but very well achieved. There's also two other heads, so you could pop this off. You could put on the one you saw at the beginning of the video where his eye is all messed up and he looks really upset. Or this one where he's screaming and angry, and we once again get the veins popping out on the sides of his head, which look really cool. Nice detail here with the blue tongue as well. Coming down the body, we have all the great detail in his chest, all the muscles, the purple section here, which is actually connected to the upper torso, so you can keep articulation. His purple shoulders. His arms have the little purple spot here. Very simple, not a lot of paint on this figure. There's kind of a grayish wash over him to highlight some of it. Got his legs down here. We already talked about the feet. We got his tail back here, and this tail's also interchangeable. You could pop this out unpeg it, and then bring in this other tail and peg it in. Now this tail has kind of two features to it. Here we have at the end this little loop that you can actually put around another character's neck so Frieza could be choking him, or we can actually come to this joint midway down and pop it apart. We actually have Frieza's severed tail, which is kind of cool. For articulation, just like the other figures, he has the ball and hinge at the top of the neck. The lower neck is also articulated to get more extreme poses. We have the ball joint in the shoulder, so you can actually move the shoulder forward, back, up and down, as well as forward and back and out to the side. Swivel at the upper bicep, double joint at the elbow, you can rotate and hinge at the hand. We have two different ball joints, one in the upper torso, one in the lower torso. This one doesn't pull apart like the other ones, but by having two joints, we do still get a very good range of motion out of them. Really not hindered at all by anything. The legs, forward and back, out to the side. We can also drop that joint down to get a little further range out of them. Double joint at the knee, swivel and hinge at the foot, so you can get a great range out of that. We have a ball joint at the base of the tail, so you swivel up and down, side to side. We can also rotate. And just with this strangulation tail, we do have that separate joint in the middle where we can just swivel and kind of bring that tail around where we need it. So overall, as I already said, this is my favorite of the three. He's just got a lot of everything going on. There's a ton of accessories. He's got beam weapons. He has two different display bases, three different heads, bunch of hands, bunch of feet, two tails. It's just a fully loaded action figure. You can't really ask for much more out of it, which is my problem with the other ones. The other two, while I still love them and recommend them, especially Piccolo, there was more they could have come with. There was more that could be there. Here, there's not really that much. I mean, there's always something you could think of to add, but this is a pretty complete representation of the final form of Frieza, and I'm very happy with it. He's gonna get a very high recommendation, and I do recommend, if you have the means to pick one up, definitely do so. This figure, I've already noticed, is starting to go for big bucks in the secondary market. I actually grabbed him specifically because I saw that, and I knew my local Barnes & Noble had a couple sitting on the shelf, kind of peg warming. So I figured I'd get him, I could review him, and even if I decide not to keep him, there's obviously a market for this guy. But he's a really cool figure, very enjoyable. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews. Stay tuned for more to come.